On today's podcast episode, I'm spending time with my fam, and you can listen in as we're celebrating motherhood through transparency. And so we're not only touching on a grief that only a mom can know, but we're highlighting overcoming and underlining acceptance. For today's guest, it's really about looking back to say, I wouldn't change a thing. Keep listening, the best is yet to come. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Welcome to the podcast, Dreneshia Lewis.
Thank you.
How are you today? Well, so far, hasn't been a whole lot of time in the day yet, but I'm sure you've managed to still be a busy mom.
Girl, I've been up since about 6:30.
And then you said you was about to go to the store.
Yes. You
And
know
like
what? It's crazy
30 in the
because
morning, you went to the store.
yeah, early in the morning, run to the store, and then when it's crazy because I before I went to the store, I googled to make sure they was gonna be open. Girl, I get down here and they late to work. I can't stand just be on
Listen,
time
we all
and be
just
in
late
there.
this morning. We all just late this morning. And the funny thing is, because of COVID, when you go look up a place hours, you really aren't sure if it's accurate or not because they might not have updated it. But it sounds like in your situation, they just late. They just the opener just ain't made it there yet. And you know what? I know that you're in Texas and I'm in Georgia, but it is so cold this morning. I feel bad for you and the person that's got to open a store that's not there. You for having to wait, and them for opening that store so early. It is so cold.
Oh, well, you know what? I don't know if y'all weather is consistent or not, but one thing about Houston weather is inconsistent. So you one minute it's hot, next minute it's freezing, and you just like really weather. Cause I went out with some friends last night, and when I went in, I had on long sleeve and some pants and stuff too. But when I went in, it was I didn't need a jacket. I had my long sleeve that was good enough. Walk out the little spot or
Yeah,
whatever, and baby, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? It's like 30-40 degrees. It had dropped like at least 25 degrees.
but now if you think about it, if you've been in that space and it get all warm and toasty feeling in there, and then you step out, you're gonna be in a whole lot of shock for your body because you had got used to it being so warm. So speaking of, it's so funny. This kind of reminds me, just tying it into why we're here today. These kids. Do your kids not like to wear coats like mine don't care about wearing coats? Maybe it's just me, but it's funny. I'm constantly like, grab your coat, grab your coat. I'm fine, I'm okay. It's not even that cold outside. I get a lot of that.
Well, once they when they little like that, you kind of just like do what I say and yeah, and be
Yeah,
quiet and put your jacket
right.
on. But it's gonna be when they get older where you
Okay.
gonna have to be
A little
repeating
stern.
yourself, like get in there and get in there and get it, and they still walk out because they gonna do what they want to do type of stuff, and you gonna have to
Okay.
basically go get the jacket and put it on them yourself, and
Like
yeah.
in front of you and everything. Like, let me
I don't even.
do it.
I thank God I don't have those problems no more. Like having grown kids, and you
Yes.
didn't had children, and you watch
Yeah.
them grow up and stuff. And
Right.
I watched mine grow up, and I'm just, people always ask me, because I was a mom at 15,
Yes.
so I started early, very early. And then, Destiny came at 15, then CJ came at 17, then Nay came at 19, and then Pooh came at 23. So I was already a mother of four, before I was even able to really start adulting. I was a mother before I was an adult. So,
Right.
yeah, yeah. So people always ask me, would you do it different? Would you change anything? And my response is always the same. No, I,
I
I
don't think
wouldn't.
either.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I wouldn't change it because at 41, this is I'm able to enjoy my life. Like I
And
don't
enjoy
have
you are, girl. And I love it for you. I
man,
love
I'm
it.
outside every
Yes.
weekend. I'm outside every weekend. My my grown kids, they text me like, "Mama, where you at?" Never mind, you outside, babe. I'm outside. Leave me alone.
I've been inside this whole time with y'all. So, speaking of being, like, basically a mom before an adult, do you feel like this might be like a funny way to ask a question, but I'm just curious because it was your words. Do you feel like you're almost a better mom than an adult? Do you feel like in a lot of ways you're learning to be an adult now, whereas there's some people that are just now learning to be a mom? It's like you're saying, hey, I've done that, now I just want to focus on being grown. Is that kind of where you're at?
Mm, yeah, it's like, so when Destiny was young, and then
Mm-hmm.
I've been married or whatever, and I've been divorced, but I used to tell my girl, I used to tell them all the time, like women, like even boys, men too, you go through that fun stage in your life. My fun stage was skipped. I didn't get to enjoy that fun stage in my life. So
Yes.
um
Do not
I
collect
feel like
$200. Go straight to jail. Like, do not pass go. Like in the Monopoly game. Like, you just got
yes,
exited on
I
off. Like,
yep, I skipped that. But you know what? But even in that where I skipped the fun stage, I still I didn't struggle with my kids. Not saying that I didn't have my moments where I couldn't
yeah, of
figure things
course.
out, or I didn't have a whatever. But I never had that moment in my life where I felt like I couldn't get through it, or that I
Right.
couldn't. So even doing that, missing out on the fun stage, watching my friends who had kids later, they out or whatever. But I don't. Again, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
I
That's a
wouldn't
beautiful
change it.
place to be. I
Yeah.
think I think the goal is to get there. I think even if you were to feel that way now, you would think, oh, I would change this, I would do that. Because there are, of course, a ton of us that would say we would change things. I think the goal is kind of like to evolve even beyond that. Say, you know what, acceptance. Like, even if there's something that I feel like, oh, what happened there, accepting that sometimes it's just the hardest thing. And then just learning to say, I did what I did. I said what I said. And kind of
Mhm.
like, saying this is how it went for me. And then a lot of that is kind of like almost like a release of control to like a higher power as well. I think when you're good with your spirituality, you kind of come to a place too of accepting and say, no, I did how I did things, and it was my way. And, whatever it is that I needed to accept in that, I have accepted that. So I think it's a cool place to be in. Where do you see yourself traveling to next in your outside time?
I want to go out the country, like, because I went through my moment in my life where I went out and drove trucks, so I was able to see, like,
Mm,
I went through 35 states, so I was able to go out and venture and
yeah,
do that part. So the only thing that's really left for me to do, it's maybe a few states that I wasn't able to visit or whatever, but those not states that I just have to go visit. But my main goal this, like maybe next
24.
year, to
Mm-hmm.
go out the country. I started going out the country this year, well, last year, but I want to, like, go. I
You
don't want to
go.
just watch movies, and because that's how I am. I'm like a real TV person. I always have been. So I kind of live my life through the TVs. I go Google, where was that movie put it? Where was that
Yeah.
movie
The
recorded,
scene,
or and I'm
film,
like,
and
I
take
want to go there.
place. Okay,
Yeah.
I see. That's amazing because in 35, States, fam. I didn't know you had seen the US of A like that. Do you encourage the same with your kids after doing that? Does it kind of like open your eyes a little bit more and kind of want to encourage them like, hey, before you guys get older, before y'all start having your own kids and stuff, see the world. Do you ever say that to them?
I do, and it's crazy because I was a young mother. I basically, I grew up with my children, so we grew up and together basically, and like Destiny, like my best friend, like we go everywhere together. Well, I actually said I wasn't going out with them anymore because they both started drinking and going crazy and crap, and girl, I'm looking at them shaking my head like, y'all see,
Y'all
but that's a stage that I didn't get to enjoy. So I don't, of course I'm gonna look at them like, y'all just out here getting drunk, whatever, because I didn't go through that stage. So that stage I don't understand, because I had to grow up. So I didn't get to go out and have my drunk days where I go to the club and get wasted and
Okay.
can't find my car keys and stuff. I didn't get a chance to do that kind of stuff. So when they do that stuff, my mental is, y'all so young and dumb, whatever, but if I would have experienced that part, then I probably would understand it better. But anyway, I go out with Destiny, so times when I want to go out of town or whatever, I tell her, hey, come on and go with me. I want you to be able to see places too. So, even though, she young and stuff, and, she have her own place, and both of my older kids, they have their own place. They doing well for themselves, but they don't always have the money to, well, Destiny don't always have the money to do everything. So I step in and say, that's okay, I'll pay for it, because I want her to be able to experience going out of town, experience going to different states and stuff like that. I didn't get to do that until I was older. I didn't experience that as a young adult because I was mothering. So,
Right.
yeah, I do push them to, even like with CJ, he kind of like his dad when it comes to, going place. He a little complacent, he don't care
Right.
for that kind of stuff. But when
Right.
we went
Take it or
to
leave it. Yeah.
yeah, he a little firm, he not, frivolous with his money. He real, like, he saved real good, and I'm proud of my son. He have his podcast also, but he don't care to travel and do that kind of stuff. He kind of like, mama, I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
But he came to Vegas though with us, and he ended up having a good time. But when we talked about going on another trip, he was back to I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I'm sure Vegas was an exception. Like, who doesn't want to go to Vegas? I think he might have put his pride to the side for that one. Like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and hit up Vegas real quick. That might be on my list. He might just have a different kind of list. And speaking of mothering and this type of thing, I'm thinking about our auntie. What does she have to say about all this? What does your mom say about seeing you guys in a different space than maybe what you and her were even in when you were their age?
Now, when it comes to me and my mama, that I love my mama.
That's bestie. I know it. That's what
I love my mama. So, when we talk about like how we are, I consider us being really close.
yes.
I idol my mom, like I'm like the mini her, my guy friend, he always tell me, oh, you act just like your mama. Yes,
And you like, yes, baby. Thank you.
I love my mama, and I think the word of my mama, and but my mom and my dad is half of the reason why I didn't struggle as a young parent.
Yeah.
They wasn't happy about me being a young mother, especially 15. But my mom, she pushed me to finish school and to go to college, and even she used to always tell me, it don't matter, if you have two kids, you're gonna walk across that stage with two kids, and that's what I did. I walked across my high school stage with two children, and I did. I went on and went to college, because of my mama. She like, because while I was in high school, I actually went through a moment where I didn't go to school for about 3 weeks. I was like done. I'm like, I don't want to do this no more. Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do this no more. But my mom, she let me have that moment. And when she was tired of it, she got me together, and I went my butt back to school, and I graduated, and I went on and went to college for 3 years too. So I think that, I think she and my dad, I think they proud of me. Like, my mama not like she not like that affectionate parent. You have those parents that like to hug. That's more so my dad. But like my mom, she don't do a lot of I love yous, and
Right.
she don't do a lot
She's
of
sweet,
hugging, and
sweet, but she there.
she
She gonna be there.
yeah yeah, she like one of those little gentle giants, like you just kind of have to just get in there and
Squeeze that hug
like,
out of her,
yes,
like
she
sneak it
she
in.
hard
Gotcha,
she
mama,
hard,
gotcha.
but yeah, she hard, but she was raised by a hard mama, so
This
you
is
know it she but I love her, and I think that she proud of me and my kids, and
Yeah, I think she is too. I think that she probably really likes that you guys get to do that. Like that's what I was getting to her. I think she likes the fact that you guys get to hang out and you get to say, "Hey, y'all, let's go here." And I can't help but think that she knows her role and her part in all of that, and making sure that that's even able to happen, or that could happen. That you could even say things like that to them, like, "Hey, let's go to Vegas, y'all." You know what I mean? So I think it's pretty
yeah, you're right,
cool.
because we didn't experience those things, with my mom. She was too busy adulting, sacrificing and stuff for, her kids and raising us and trying to make us better and greater. And she didn't get to experience a lot of that stuff. But, I always ask myself, I wonder if she,
One,
she knows she kind of regret or whatever. But that's not something I'm just not gonna ask her.
we not gonna ask Auntie that though. We not.
Yeah.
And you know what? It'll be really cool because once this airs and it's out and you say, listen to this mama, that's gonna be the best way to do it for her. Just say, Mom, just take a listen to this episode, and then you're gonna be watching her face and watching her response, and it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be on a different even level for you guys, which is really cool. Which is really cool to even be able to share those moments.
Yeah.
So then tell me then, like for instance, right now you're out. Usually because my kids are younger, if I'm like out, I know a lot of moms that gotta be out or have to be out during like school hours for kids. Everything gotta get done, before 2 p.m. when them kids get out of school. For you, how does it feel now to not have to worry about that? To not be, thinking so harshly about, okay, need to get back on this schedule. Like your schedule is kind of more yours. And does that feel like empowering, or does it feel so different that you're still adjusting to it?
Oh no, it feels great. I mean, because I still have Pooh. He just
Yeah,
made 17.
elementary school. Like, he might
Yeah,
not even come straight home when he get home, if you know what
you
I
know
mean.
what? That little boy is. You know what? He's 17, but he still is this little Pooh. He just baby. That little boy that put me through with these. Girl, like I have to basically I set my alarm clock still because I have to like I text him and say, hey, are you up? Because that little yeah, 17, I still have to text him, you up? Hey, did you get on that bus? Or hey, did you get to school? Girl, they be sending me messages talking about he was late the first period. I'm like, how the hell was you late the first period? Like, what in the world? Girl, yes, he the only child. All my other kids, Destiny had her moments where she went through. You know how girls they have they caddies, so they getting a little messy.
Yeah.
She went through that stage. I didn't go through that stage at all with CJ. Everybody loves CJ or whatever, and
Yeah.
Cameron before she passed. She was loved by people, but Cameron, she was a little messy, so she went through her little messy stage. But Draylon, this baby boy, oh child, he put me through it. I'm talking about suspended for spraying fart spray. Girl, it's crazy. Girl, I got stories with this little boy.
We're gonna have to definitely bring you back on and just give us stories of him, because that is too funny.
Not spraying the people, and the people call me, they say, well, yeah, Draylon, he sprays fart spray. I'm like, are you kidding me?
He thought that was so funny. Now he thought.
He thought it was hilarious, child. I just want to pull out a belt and beat him down. But one thing about it is, I will say this, having 4 kids and losing a kid, my parenting changed for Pooh. You know, like the way I parent my 4 kids, you know, before losing a kid.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Parenting style was hard. Like, I don't care about your feelings, and it don't matter what you think. You do what I say, and I
It's
mean
what
it
it
right
is.
that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but losing a child, you know, and I debate this with my 2 older kids all the time. They always on me. They say, "Mama, you treat Pooh different." No, I don't treat Pooh different. I'm different. I'm different.
That's powerful. Yeah.
I'm different. You know, like losing a kid, it not so much a changed me, but it
evolved you a little bit.
It pushed me to try harder and to you know it just changed me, like not in a way like personality wise. I'm still the same person, but it made me look at so many
your perspective
things
too, though. You know,
that part changed, and you know, I went through a stage after that. You know, like I tell people all the time, like, you know, I've lost 220 pounds. So I gained so much weight. I didn't even recognize myself. And I'm saying this because I want to talk about what you said about not having to wake up and stuff like that. So after she passed or whatever, and I woke up one morning and I was like, you know, you have that emptiness, you know, and so I understood in that moment. I understood what people talked about, empty nesters. How people, you know, you be happy to see your kids grow up and leave and stuff. But I woke up one day and my house was so quiet.
Ooh, yes.
Girl, I cried so. Oh man, I cried so, and I just. And I said, and I laid back down, and then I literally, like 5 minutes later, I woke. I raised up and I was like, I can't. I have to get up because I still have to be. At the time, I was a wife. You know, I have to be a wife. I have to be a mama still to Pooh. You know, because I mean, how right would I be to give up on him?
Leave him hanging. Yeah.
Yeah, he still needed me. You know, so I got up and I said I still gotta be a mama. And even though with my adult kids, you know, I always call it mothering adults. You know, I still had to be a mother to my adult kids too.
That's
you know,
true.
They still needed guidance and they still needed me. But I went and got me a dog.
Oh. I went and got a dog. Get you up, girl. Them dogs, they'll get you up.
So back to what you said about, you know, how does it feel? It feels good, but you get lonely.
Yeah.
You get lonely.
Imagine, you know, all those years and all those decades being dedicated to somebody else's schedule. And now it really is your schedule. And then what you go do? Throw another responsibility in your schedule because it's what you know. So you're like, all right,
I went and got a dog. So even though he don't require...
That's your mama too, though. That's your mama too right there. So
he don't require the mothering part. You know, so it's still easy, and I'm still able to go and do what I want to do because, you know, dogs, you put them in their kennel and you leave in the day or whatever, but, you know, you can't leave no kid at home, but it's still easy, and I'm still loving it, but my dog give me that, he feels that loneliness. You know, people always laugh at me about my dog. You know, he a Doberman Pinscher, so he pretty big, and yeah, he big. So I used to always say, if my dog can't come, don't invite me, you know.
Oh, wow.
And, so people used to laugh at me or whatever, and I say they don't understand the relationship between my dog and, you know, the relationship I have with my dog. Like when I lost my daughter, my body grieved. You know, I had a hysterectomy. Yes, I had to have a hysterectomy last year. I had gained weight. Yes. It was terrible. So, you know, my dog is, he was certified emotional support animal,
Oh,
and he does
wow.
exactly that. He does exactly that. So when I
Wow.
have moments, yeah, I have my dog, and yeah, so it's great though when them kids grow up and get on up out of there.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of
Get
here. You're out of here.
get out of here. Shoot, it feels good. But
I
I have
love.
my own business too, so I still have to wake up in the morning.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yep. You
so
still have to
yeah,
be an entrepreneur. And so
yes,
you have to
Lord.
be your own motivation. And it's just good that you're maneuvering and finding ways to be fulfilled. This has been so strong of an episode. I think a lot of people are really going to listen and really gain a lot from it. So I'm just so glad that you could come on and being, patient with me so we could get this episode going. And I definitely want to bring you back on to talk more funny stories for sure. And so we will definitely have us a good little time the next time you come too, because these things really are just so short. I try to keep them, within that 20-30 minute mark. So we're going to wrap up. But I do have a question for you that I ask everybody before I get off. And that is, what does ask and ye shall receive mean to you and for you? Ask and ye shall receive.
Basically, like, I mean, when I think of that, I think of closed mouths don't get heard. So
Mm.
everything that you want in life, you ask for it and you'll get it. Like you have to speak it into
Speak up,
fruition.
huh? Speak up.
Yeah, speak life in anything that you want, and that's half of the reason why I haven't struggled. My faith was strong even as a young
Mm.
parent. I
Yes.
walked my faith. I believed in God. I
Yeah.
never, I didn't speak negativity over me, my life, over my kids' life, and
Right.
my kids grew up and they great adults.
They are.
They
Yeah.
ain't been in no trouble, no jail. They don't have any kids, which I am ready to be a grandmother.
Oh,
But
okay.
oh yeah, they don't
Throw
have
that in
children.
there real quick.
Oh yeah, they don't have any kids. They ain't never been in no real trouble.
Yes.
They respectable young adults, and that's because I asked and I received.
You asked for that. I love it. Thank you so much again for coming on today, and just let me know when you're ready to kick it again, cousin. We'll definitely do this again. I really appreciate you taking the time though.
Oh yeah, anytime. I got all the jokes. I'm not.
I know. And now you need to see if this store is open though. You need to go on and see if these people didn't unlock this store for you this morning.
They walking in. Now they walking in, child. I'm on this
You're watching
phone.
them. Give them a
You
few
always
minutes. You
on
know
the
how they
phone.
go. Give them a few minutes.
Hmm. Oh yeah, you about to get busy.
And yes, I certainly did become rather busy after completing today's episode. Which reminds me, hey, thanks for listening to the end today. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen to the MOMspace interviews on the Peaceful Warrior podcast. Please be sure to subscribe so that you'll be ready to listen as soon as new episodes become available. Have a great day.